Hey guys, what up? Shiny D here. Wicca Wicca, loving that moniker now, might change later. Enjoy it, limited time, limited edition. Shiny D. Welcome to the absolute very first episode of the podcast. We'll start off with something cheesy. They say the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. What's the second best time to plant a tree? Right now. That's right. I am metaphorically planting my tree, which is a podcast, and I will grow my roots. So if you're listening to this, you're in on the ground floor, you're betting on a winning horse, you're buying the stock while it's at a lower value. So, to my investor, I can assure you, your investment will pay off. I think I'm trying to assure myself. I lack confidence. I lack self esteem. I got daddy issues. That's why I'm here talking to you. Why else would I be making a podcast? I don't feel listened to, and I need to be heard. So I started listening to this new book the other day called The War of Art. Kind of a playoff on the Art of War, ancient, very good Zen book. Highly recommended for business and or killing and or if you're in the business of killing. Ranked number one amongst the hitman of Amazon. Hey, that's gonna be the standard for comedy for this show, guys. So if you could just do a huge favor and do what my girlfriends do, just greatly lower your expectations, lower the bar for what is funny, and we will get along so much better. So with that in mind, I started reading this book, The War of Art. You guys know when a book just comes into your life at the exact right time? First off, shout outs to the JRE, Joe Rogan Experience, my absolute favorite podcast. If you don't listen to it, you want to check it out. It's really good. But they actually recommended it, so just thanks to Joe. Big much love to Joe. And you know when a book just comes at you at the exact right time, like it was destined. Like it was the book of destiny handed down by Jehovah, Jesus, Allah, or whoever. Insert deity based on religious preference here. We don't discriminate at the Shiny D Experience. We don't discriminate at all. So this book comes in and it talks about this internal resistance that you fight. You fight all the time as an artist, as a creator. And boy, is that resistance very apparent in my life. And the place that it has been the absolute most resistant is in the thing that I absolutely want to do the most. So they say the greater your desire, the greater your longing, the greater, the more powerful and clear your dream is. I'll let you in on what mine is. I want to do what one of my best buddies in the world, Quinn Beasley, is doing right now. He's a traveling street performer doing circle shows. So there's two types of main types of busking. There's a show where you put your hat. I don't know technical terms. I'm new to this whole thing. So there's probably some buskers out there. Oh, well, no, you're right. Learning experience. So there's two main types. One is that you have a hat out and you're doing something particular. Say you're playing a guitar and you have a hat and people come enjoy your act wherever it is. They don't have to have any pre-story. They just come and they enjoy that moment and they pay you based on their experience. If they want to pay you at all or if they want to stop at all. The other kind, which is the kind I want to get into, which is the kind I am getting into, positive affirmations, words are weapons, manifest destiny. The type that I am getting into, let's see what I did there, clever. The type that I am getting into is called a circle show. You might have seen these before. They're popular at busker festivals and at fringe festivals, and there's usually designated areas within the city where they have performers. In Vancouver, the place would be Granville Island. So the type of act that I'm getting into is called a circle show. With the circle show, you basically have a couple main tricks, usually one trick and one finale, maybe more. But the whole time you're kind of talking about, okay, guys, first you're crowd gathering, so it's like a completely different type of humor. Right now, I am a performer. I've been performing for a while, doing stilt walking, fire dancing. I am a male dancer now. Interpret what you will out of that. I've been doing that for a while, but that's really different. That's a corporate gig. So the main difference with the corporate gig is they pay you to be there. So they've already paid you. They've already invested in you. They want you there. So they're invested. They're gonna sit. They're gonna be polite. They're gonna want to enjoy it. They want to see you. With busking and street performing, you literally have to convince some random stranger. I've been doing it at the art gallery downtown, which is like a busy kind of center where the road's blocked off for a bit, but it's right in the heart of downtown. Downtown has a pulse in cities. So you have to convince just through your action and your connection and your pure charisma and ravishing good looks. You have to convince somebody walking by that what you are doing is way cooler than what they're going to do, than their business meeting they're going to, or whatever it is, right? Obviously, if they're in a super rush, they might not stop, but you have to convince people that what you're doing is worth them stopping. That you're not just another completely crazy random homeless person, and you actually have something to offer. So we'll get into that more on another time, but you're putting yourself out there, and anytime you're putting yourself out there, you're going to face an immense amount of rejection. This will be. I was living with my buddy Quinn for a while, and he was learning everything. He was going through all this shit, and I was in that, I was daydreaming to a magical far off land of someday I'll. Someday I'll do that. Someday I will do that. I never did though, and one summer went by, 2 summers went by, and it was at the end of that second summer after I'd been talking shit about how I want to do this, how that's like the best job for me, and I really think it will be. But it took me almost 2 summers, and you can't really do it in the winter here. You get the odd day in Vancouver, but that's your chance. You have that 4 or 5 month gap of nice weather, and if you can't travel anywhere, which I can't currently right now for reasons yeah, none of your freaking business. That's basically. Um, I had that narrow chance, and it was right at the end of the second season. I started going out, and I went out 5 or 7 times, but then boom, the fall hit. Boom, the winter hit. So I had a dream the other night, and in my dream, I had dreamt that I had slept nearly through another summer, and I'd woken up and it was sunny out, and I realized I had missed out on my dream again. I realized that I'd let another summer slip away, and I realized I'd been procrastinating on my dream. I had let the resistance that is procrastination determine my future. And the next day I woke up and it was sunny. There was a break in the snow, a break in the ice. It was a really nice week we had, if you remember. There was that break. And I got through almost the whole day before I realized, holy shit, I can start busking again. That was great. So we had a couple more nice days of sun that week, and I mostly procrastinated them. But I'm glad to say that I have been out a couple times already this year. I have my setup. I bought a new headset. So I'm setting up, I'm getting ready. I'm not going to let this summer slip away. But I was procrastinating again because I had 2 nice days, and I'll try to trick myself. It's very hard for me to know when I'm actually tired and when I need to rest and when I'm just procrastinating something because it's actually really important. So I think this busking and this street performing and traveling all over the world and being able to do that and share my gift, and I hate working for other people. I mean, I don't mind some people, like, some of the entertainment companies around here are pretty awesome. NZR Prods, big shout out. I love working for NZR. That guy's the bomb. But for the most part, I want to be my own boss. With performance, a little different, even when you are working for someone, because it's more like, subcontracting. You still are your own boss, you're your own company, etc. But it is their show. But that's the funnest stuff. But getting back to street performing, that's all I want to do. So I caught myself starting to procrastinate again. And procrastination, that's just the devil's masturbation. Procrastination, it gets momentum of its own. You gotta be doing stuff every day. Every day you gotta be, if I say I want to be a street performer and then it's nice out and I don't have anything to do and I don't go out and do it, I'm not gonna let fear stop me from doing that. But if I do that, then how badly do I actually want it? You gotta want it bad enough to get over that fear. So this book comes along, just out of nowhere, and boom, it wakes me up, makes me realize that all that procrastination, that needing to rest, that's important. That's important, but I was actually just kidding myself. And this fucking awesome book comes along, and I'm just a little bit into it, and I'm listening to it on an audiobook, so I could try to bro science regurgitate what I've already heard, but I feel like I'll get a better grasp We're going to start doing these more often because I just want to make content. The two things I want to do the most in the world: street perform and do performances, and just make content, make podcasts, make YouTube videos, just have fun doing. Those are the two things I want to do the most. So obviously, those are the two things I try to procrastinate on the most. And I refuse to want to work for other people full time, normal jobs that I'm not passionate about or inspired about at all. There's that old, I think it's a little blurb on a Bill Hicks. It's Bill Hicks, but it's like, sure, I could wake up every day going to a job that doesn't inspire me creatively at all. Or I could sleep till noon and learn how to play the sitar. You know, when you try to, it's way better when you hear it. You probably already heard that one. If you haven't already, well, my rendition could be improved on. But that's always the way when you try to regurgitate other people's material. Like, when I try to regurgitate like a Louis C.K. or a Bill Burr joke, oh man, I like got 5% of the funniness that those guys, they deliver. So, thanks for joining me. I'm going to keep this first one kind of short and sweet. The War of Art. I'm going to recommend that one. And just remember when you're procrastinating on your dreams, because guess what happened today when I did make myself work on all the work that I needed to do? I wasn't lazy anymore. I wasn't tired anymore. I was filled. I was revitalized, and I was filled with this energy and this passion. I realized, holy shit, I was just actually my procrastination and my resistance to my art, because I'm afraid of being rejected there. My body actually was, it was trying to trick me into saying I was tired. But that's the resistance you gotta face. And the only way to do it is to just sit down. Like, I needed to start writing and putting more work into, I want to do more stand-up stuff. And by more, I mean I want to do it. When you say, I want to do more of, because you don't want to sound like a complete beginner or an asset. I always say that. I'm like, oh, I want to do more jujitsu. And then I'm like, well, actually, I only did like 3 classes, so maybe I want to do jujitsu. But you want to sound cooler, like you're jive to the scene, you jive to the act. So literally all it took is I just sat down at my keyboard and I just wrote. I am writing on my keyboard because I know I need to write. I need to write to get more ideas. This is how I create ideas. I literally just wrote about my writer's block and about my procrastination. I said I am procrastinating. I have been procrastinating, but I'm at least going to sit here on my keyboard. Guess what happened, guys? After 10 or 15 minutes, I started to get some pretty decent shit. And I haven't written in like 2 weeks or something. But just by making myself do that for 15, 20 minutes today and building up that, because remember, procrastination has a momentum of its own. So you got to put momentum into your art, momentum in your productivity. And the only way to do that is to just face it. And even if you're not getting shit done, just sit in front of that keyboard. Write about how you're not getting shit done. Because after 10, 15 minutes of me just writing about that, there's some good stuff that started to come out. And even though I didn't really want to make this podcast tonight, guess what? Because I did record it, because I did make it, probably going to want to make another one tomorrow. So you got to run at that momentum. Remember, the creative process it's really difficult. Sometimes you got to power through it, but you just got to do it. You just got to get those shoes on. So a good way to do that is to just make everything convenient. Set out a space to, if you want to write, set out a space to write. Have your computer or whatever. Have it there, ready to go. Have things that, music you like. Have a playlist made. It's like if you want to go for a jog in the morning, first thing in the morning, leave your fucking shoes and your gym clothing right beside your bed. So it just makes it easier. It'll just make it easier to cut through that resistance. And then just do it so quick that resistance doesn't have a time to sabotage you. Just put on those shoes before your body. You can try to go, oh, well, I need to sleep a little more because my immune system, blah, 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 blah. Just get those shoes on. They won't even have a chance. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I am doing. Oh, you see what I did there? Talking in the present, affirmative action. What I am doing is I am making more content because I love to do it. I'm going to put out more of these podcasts. I'm going to continually record YouTube stuff. I'm going to work on my acts. I'm going to work on my body, work on my mind, and I'm going to achieve that very real dream of mine that is to become an international street performer and content creator. whatever that means. So, you guys are in on the ground floor. Let me know in the comments how it went. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if there's any subjects or topics you would like me to talk about. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Winning.